What's up, guys? It's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity Build a video. Something has changed with the contest of mayors, you guys, and it's something that you guys have to know in order to be successful moving forward, okay? So if you're a low-level player, this video is extremely important for you guys, that you pay attention and that you understand exactly what I'm trying to say here. So before we begin, like, subscribe, comment below if you have any questions. Or if you just want to put your feedback in or whatever. If you want me to grade your album, send me your album link. All you have to do is type in Google Photos album Missy Ann on YouTube and you'll see the videos pop up that explain how to set up a photo album. The very first thing is that you absolutely must have an album, whether you're sending it to me or not. You have to, in order to play 100% correct and to understand, what to do, you're going to have an album. Now, I want to show you guys something that's been happening for the last couple of weeks. Right now, I have two main training students in my training course, and it's something that has happened to them almost every single week. Okay, not quite every week, but almost every single week. Now, it's extremely rare that you have to do what is called a doorway flip, okay? There are three scenarios in which you do a last resort rotatable task. A last resort rotatable task is an assignment that is a non-premium with a high algorithm. Okay? So, basically, a keys and repair at the value of 1,200 and any valued coin assignment is going to be an LR task. In some instances, you would mark the epic as a last resort rotatable, but for the most part, it's just rotatable now that the streaks are gone. Now, I recently put out a video talking about a doorway flip and how to do it. But you guys need to know that this is something that is happening regularly now. This wasn't just a fluke that one week. It's going on a lot. And it's going to screw your entire week up. And you're probably sitting there having a lot of really bad weeks wondering why and what's going on. They had to have changed something, I'm telling you guys, because I have never seen it like this. So, let's begin. What you need to do is you need to look at your list as a whole and realize that the first 3 doorways on your list. Now, think about it like this. Every single start of the contest, your week is broken down into value points. So what they do is they put the highest valued assignment at the top and the least valued assignments at the bottom. That's how it starts off in every week, okay? Now, because the storage upgrade task is always there, we pretty much have to, we acknowledge it being there, but for the most part, we don't count it as, like, one of our main, and I don't mean main as in value, I just mean one of the starting doorways, okay? When we're just looking at it like this, like, just kind of leave that on the back burner. Don't stress about it is what I'm saying, because it's always going to be there. So no matter how many times you try to clear it, it's going to be there. It was designed to be put there to make you spend money. That's what it was there to do. It's going to gnaw at you for being there for 3,000 points. You're going to want those 3,000 points, and you're going to slide your credit card to get those 3,000 points. That's what a lot of people will do. I'm telling you to ignore it. Okay, don't just give them a bunch of money because you have some stupid assignment you can't get out of your list anyways. All right, that being said, you break your list down and you look at it like this. The top portion and the bottom portion. The top portion, if you stick to only the top portion, you have a kind of like a weather pattern, so to speak. Things don't drastically shift until you start breaking down the bottom portion of your list. Now, for high-level players, what they can do is they can locate a good doorway, and they can work it. And then they can go to their premium, open up their next workable doorway, and they can, for the most part, usually if they do it right and they don't make mistakes, they can work their entire week on just 3 doors. They don't have to rotate anything else out because they don't need to. They've got plenty of main tasks rolling in if they're doing it right. Whereas a low-level player, it's a way more complicated situation. Now, what you can do as both a high and low level player is you can rotate something from the bottom and all of a sudden you shift the weather pattern for your entire week. So let's say that you weren't getting any upgrades all week long, okay? And all of a sudden, you grab something from the lower portion of the list, and all of a sudden, you just start getting slammed with upgrades that you would have otherwise not had, or vice versa. Maybe it's factory tasks that it happens with, right? Or maybe it's war tasks. But it's something that you've noticed happen, because you'll be fine until you make that shift. Now, it's not always a bad thing. Let's say that the top portion of your list, or the workable doorways that you've been doing, haven't been giving you anything good. So now the idea is that you need to grab from the lower portion of the list to open up better opportunities for yourself. Now, with low-level players, it's hard because you guys are almost always working multiple doorways on your list. The only ones that really get closed off are the LR tasks and the no-touch tasks that are off there right at the get-go, like the monster and stuff. Everything else is considered a workable doorway. So when you're looking at your list and the first 3 assignments at the list, the first 3 to 4 assignments are all 2,000 points or higher, you're going to start those assignments first, right? So in this case, this person has a 3,600 Old Town. They can't do it. They're going to have to cancel it at some point, but you never cancel right off the bat because you don't know how your week's going to be. Then they have a storage task, which is always there. So let's just ignore that for a minute. Then they have the Paris, which is at main task value. Then they have the Expand City, which again is always going to be there until you get rid of the land expansions. So now, even if we clear the storage task, it's going to return, right? So realistically, our workable doorways are going to be, if we can open these doorways up, are going to be the Old Town, the Paris, and that war delivery below. That's going to be the first top 3 doorways that are workable for us, because we're going to ignore the storage and the Expand City. So when your first 3 doorways are covered with last resort rotatables, you got a big problem, right? Now, a lot of people don't notice this happening because they don't take screenshots, they don't pay attention. And honestly, up until recently, it almost never happened this way. At worst, you may lose 1, but it very rarely happened the way it's been happening. So, this person does the Paris assignment, okay? And they immediately get the repair for 1,200, which is an LR task, right? So you're not going to be doing that. Not until it's value over op, which is the last 15 assignments, reverse rotation, or a doorway flip, which is what a lot of people don't know what it is because you didn't need to know what it was because it almost never happened before this, okay? So now he does his next main, not main, but his next doorway, which would be the 1,500 war delivery, and he gets a last resort rotatable keys for 1,200, okay? So again, starting doorway is now sealed off. So unless we flip this doorway at some point during the contest, this is sealed off pretty much for a very long time, right? If not forever. It's almost like the game knew that you guys were arranging your list in such a way, and now they are trying to make it to where you score less points because now they're sealing off these good doors. It never used to happen like this. I'm telling you, it's not a coincidence that everybody's albums that I've seen, almost every single week, the first 2 assignments right out the gate are a 1,200 repair and a 1,200 keys. Every time. It's not 1,600, it's not 2,000, it's not on other doorways, it's on those 2 starting doorways. Almost every freaking time. That is not a coincidence. Okay? Now he does the tape measures. So here, his starting door would have been, he's got the keys, the repair. The third starting doorway would be the grass. So now from here, we have to watch these 3 doorways for the rest of the contest. So when, not if, but when your list starts to go bad, when your average starts to drop, and you start to run out of options, and you go, God, I can't get anything to open up. What am I supposed to do here? You go back to the beginning of your album, and you look at your starting doorways and you see that these 3 doorways are your starting doorways and 2 of them are sealed off, you're going to attempt a doorway flip. Now, what you need in order to do this is you need to decide which doorway to flip first. So if you're picking between repair and keys, usually you're going to pick the keys first, okay? But you have to have a doorway to flip it to. So in order to open up a good opportunity, you have to take a good opportunities placement in your list. If we flip, let's say we tried to flip the keys. So we do the keys and we get a 3K delivery. And then we do the 3K delivery. And then the keys come right back. That didn't do anything, right? We're trying to flip the keys to a different door. So we do the keys, we get the 3K delivery. Now we have to rotate something else for the keys to take place of. Can we do it on the repair door? No, because the repair is going to do the same thing as the keys. Instead of the 3K delivery door being covered with keys, now it'll just be covered with the repair. So what you have to do is you have to locate a good opportunity doorway that hasn't been good to you to flip it to. So let's pretend for a second that this person was working the grass doorway and it wasn't good to him. So now he wants to flip that doorway out. He takes the keys, he does the keys, then he flips the grass door. If he doesn't immediately get the keys back, then he flips the same door, or if he has another door he can flip it to, he can try that. The further down the list, the better. So like if you had like a 600 chairs at the bottom, definitely try that, okay? If you don't get the keys back within 3 to 4 assignments, go ahead and do the key doorway and see what happens. If you immediately get the keys back on that doorway, then you may have to rotate it out again. If you know that's your good doorway, then you have to get it flipped to another door, okay? But this is something I think that they're trying to do to get you guys to lower your average, to become desperate, to screw with your rotation. And it's screwed up because a doorway flip is not something easily explainable. And I don't want you guys to doorway flip too early, okay? Like right at the beginning, go, oh, my main door's covered, I have to doorway flip. You don't always have to, okay? So make sure that you guys are paying attention and that you've tried everything else and that your week is just not going well. Now, give me just a second. I'm going to show you something else here. Okay, this is another album from this week. This is a completely different person on a completely different leaderboard. They've got the 3K war delivery, the 3K... Hang on. Okay, let's see. They've got the 3K war delivery, increased storage, VU, Tokyo. So ignoring the increased storage, it would be the war delivery, the VU, and the Tokyo would be the 3 starting doors. Does the war delivery, what does he get? Repair, 1,200. Does the VU, what does he get? Keys, 1,200. Does the Tokyo, gets 1,800 cargo. Huh. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so here we have another person. They do the first task, they get a repair, 1,200. Almost every album is kicking a repair 1,200 right off the gate. So there's 2 things that I'm going to be attempting to do to fix this issue, and it's going to be kind of a test run, okay? So if anybody wants to participate in the experiment, let me know, send me your album link. The half of you guys are going to continue with rotation the way that you normally would, okay? And you guys are going to use the doorway flip technique. The other half of you, I want to, instead of rotating what you would normally rotate right off the beginning, like one of your 3 main doors, I want to try something different and rotate one of your lower assignments that you know will probably not lead to something great. So for example, let's pretend that she was going to participate in next week's experiment. What she would do is, instead of doing one of these 3K tasks and having her good doorway blocked off, she would do one of these tasks down here at the bottom. like the Launch Club Wars, right? It's limited time, it's 1,000 points, and see if she immediately gets a repair 1,200. If she doesn't immediately get a repair 1,200, she can go back to the normal rotation and see if it kicks it to her or if it knocks her out of that cycle. Or maybe it does give her the 1,200 repair, which is better, and then she can go ahead and work on her 3 main doors and not worry about her whole week getting completely screwed, right? So if she doesn't have keys or repair already in the list, which it's looking like most people don't, which is weird, it didn't used to be that way, then she could rotate 2 lower doorways in hopes that she's going to get those 2, the keys and the repair, and see if that changes things. So instead of your main doorways getting blocked off, you call in those assignments early. Now, I don't know because I've never tried this technique, so it's going to be something that I experiment with. Now, anybody here that is in Mega that would like to, participate in that, please hit me up on Facebook. Send me your album link. Send me your screenshots at the beginning of next week when you try it. And I'll use your information to figure out how we're going to combat this issue, because this is causing major problems. It's not just, oh, it's no big deal, they'll just sit there. Like, it's causing you guys to score really, really low. It's causing you guys to lose. So we got to fix this, okay? Right now, if your week has already been proceeded on, just attempt a doorway flip. That's all you can do. But I'm telling you guys, if you don't start keeping albums, and a lot of you guys don't, in fact, probably 95% of you don't, you will never, ever be able to reach the maximum potential in the Contest of Mayors. And you may be winning now, okay? And it may be easy for you for where you are because your competition is garbage. But the moment that you come up against somebody who actually knows what they're doing, you're screwed. The moment that you actually decide to level up and become a high-level player with the big dogs, you're gonna fail miserably. It's better to learn it the right way now. If you don't know what you're looking for on those screenshots and that's why you're not taking them, then you just need to learn, okay? If you're interested in comm training, I have a Patreon. It's $8 a month. I'm going to be doing a comm training course where we go through, exercises, and you guys can start actually learning this stuff, because so many of you guys you're not grasping it 100%. So we're going to try a different technique.